I can't tell you how excited I am to see you all in like less than a month. It's crazy how fast this time has gone. I think once we get the last of you here, I think we might be all here that were registered to join us today, which is cool. I like that. And I really have only two things to cover with all of you, and it's mostly to say, well, two things. Number one, I wanted to talk about the Lions Learning Center. And number two, I also wanted to go over the membership development grants I sent you all a note about the other day. And I just wanted to show you what it is, because I'm not sure that many districts are actually utilizing them. And what I understand from LCI staff is that districts, even that are applying for those grants, aren't following through on them. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and what money might be available to you as a district and or your multiple district. But first off, thank you guys for following through on your Lions Learning Center courses. I just checked before we got on the call here, and it looks like all but 5 of you are completely complete. Isn't that a nice sentence? But are done. So I appreciate you all taking care of that. There's a couple of you that are still a little bit short, but I did not have time to actually open up and check all of the, I didn't have time to check all the coursework. I'll look at that tomorrow to make sure where you're at, if there's anything specific. Sometimes on the Lions Learning Center, it says that they have, that you're at like 95%. And the 100% would be the one optional piece that you didn't look at. So I'm just going to double check and make sure you're all clear, because the last thing we want to do is have you all end up in Boston and turn around and have LCI say, oh, by the way, we're not covering your stuff because you didn't have it done. So I'm going to stay on top of that and keep working with you all to make sure that you have all the materials complete so that we have no questions from LCI about covering your costs for coming to Boston.
Thank you.
Yeah, I learned very quickly that that's an important piece in this job that I've got right now is none of you are going to be happy if you get to Boston and all of a sudden after the fact, you find out you have a very large bill. So we'll take care of that. The other piece that I wanted to let you know about is this membership grant. So I am going to share my screen with you all here and show you two things. Before I hit share on that, let me do a copy here because I'm going to drop this into the chat window. But the membership grant program has been around for a while from LCI. And the challenge with it has been that, as I mentioned earlier, many people, if and where people are applying, I think only 40% of them are actually completing the grant and the grant process to get the money from LCI. So I just in the chat window dropped, I believe, the same link I sent you on email earlier this week, which is the membership development grant page. It has a number of pieces here, links to these grant criteria and FAQ and apply now. But I wanted to show you, if you haven't had time to take a look at it, they give you a whole bunch of resources that help you be successful in applying for the grant, including a budget template, an action plan template, all of these different pieces, which is fabulous. But I think even more importantly for our conversation today is it has under the FAQs, the frequently asked questions. I'm going to share this screen now as well. Under the frequently asked questions, it actually gives you an overview of what they're looking for in this grant. And you'll see that they've got amounts, $1, and there's all kinds of verbiage explaining everything, but it explains how much of it is available dollar amount wise per constitutional area for the year. And you'll note that it's not a whole lot of money. So these are competitive grants that you need to get your grant in as early as possible in order to ensure that you are awarded the grant. And the grants are open right now. So if you and your team, be it your district team or your multiple district team, have any interest in applying for some of these membership development grants, you need to get on it right away. It shows here what the requirements are, but the big piece here that I really want to make sure you see is under recruitment. The recruitment plan is over the 12 months, and it's a 12-month grant, is that you have to charter a minimum of 2 clubs and or increase and recruit 50 new members. That's 50 new members. So that's the driving force behind all of this. Some of you, and I don't know if you want to raise your hands, already heard from your GAT area leaders. The GAT area leaders are sending you all out notes to talk about Mission 1.5. Have any of you heard of Mission 1.5?
I don't know if I've heard of it referred to as that, but I kind of think what you're saying is what I've been told about, if that makes sense.
Let me stop sharing the screen and just give you a brief overview. Mission 1.5 is launching on July 1, and Mission 1.5 is a 4-year plan to get Lions to 1.5 million members. Those of you who've been around and paying attention to membership numbers know that we've been at between 1.3, 1.4 million members for a long time. And they really want to push to see us globally at 1.5 million. So they put a plan in place, and this plan is being driven by the executive officers to get our districts and our clubs in line to be able to hit that 1.5 million member mark by June 30th of 2027. Now, what that means is that you all submitted your goals, which, by the way, no one told me you're on a naughty list, so I'm assuming you all submitted your goals into the system. The executive officers have gone back through and looked at the numbers. They've looked at the numbers based on running the district's history, each of the district histories and growth, and also to reach this 1.5 million. And they are providing you with updated membership goals, both for new club development and membership growth and retention. That information is going to be coming out through your GAT area leader. So some of you, I know it just depends on where you are and who your area leader is. They should be reaching out to you individually, either via email or otherwise, to talk about this updated goals and where you're going to be asked, what you're going to be asked to do. My general understanding is that every district is going to be asked to start 1 new club next Lions year. So if you did not plan for that in your goals initially, call this your fair warning that you will be asked to add a new club this next Lions year. And that's where your global extension team chair, if you have one, is going to come in and be very helpful. You also have the opportunity to look at having depending on which area of the world you're in, specifically the US, and I think South Africa is also eligible to have membership development workshops where you have a membership consultant that Lions Clubs International trains come in and put on a workshop to teach your people how to start a club. It can either be done online as a hybrid event, or with applying for it, you can have one of us come out and do it face-to-face in your community. I am a new club consultant for LCI, and I will tell you that new club consultants are not available in every area of the world, but I would be willing to come and help train your people based on the program if you had an interest, even without it being through the official channels of LCI, to get the job done, to share the information. It is the key to that is understanding that it is not the consultant's job to start the club. It's the consultant's job to train your people and support your people as you go out to start this club. What we've learned over the decades of having these new club consultants is that it used to be the new club consultant basically went and knocked on doors when they're out, and they would recruit members, and then they'd leave, and these new members would come to the meetings, and the person that recruited them was not there. They had no connection then to the people that were actually starting the club. So we've changed the way we look at things, in that we now have the consultant is there just to consult and train and support you all in your efforts. Yaroslav, I see you asked if there's one in your area. There are not any in Europe. So if you would like that, I can do just a hybrid workshop where we go through the process and the program to explain how everything works and help train your people on how to get the job done. Sorry, I should turn off notifications. Apparently WhatsApp takes over my whole computer. And in case you're hearing those beeps, I apologize. I think I turned it off now, so we'll hopefully not hear any more of those. So new club consultants are a part of it. If you're looking for that grant, back to the membership grant, you will need to get that in, as like I said earlier, as soon as possible. These are competitive grants. And if you do not fulfill the grant the first time, so let's say you apply for a grant and you are one of those 60% of clubs or districts or multiple districts that don't complete the process, you will not see another grant come through for some time, because they need to make sure that the money that they're dispersing is actually being used for that purpose. So can I help with the grant application? I can. I also would suggest that possibly your GAT area leaders, if you're close with them. Yaroslav, in your case, I don't know if you're in an area that's got country coordinators, I believe. And country coordinators would also be available to help with that process, and or all of the above. We can help be able to put that together. Yes, it is. Yes, Yaroslav, that is correct. Leo clubs, I do not believe are considered in the new club calculation, but I would need to verify that. Kevin or Dave was asking if Leo clubs are considered in the new club calculation. I would need to verify that. I don't believe they are. They never have been in the past. It's always been a full Lions club, whether it be a hybrid or other type of piece off of that. I do want to just give a quick, as long as you mention that, the Leo Club program in the US and Canada is mostly seen as what we call the Alpha Leos. That's the high school, middle age and high school age Leos. And I think I might have talked to you all about this before, but I'll bring it up again, is that there is something called the Omega Leo program. And if you are in an area that has a lot of experienced Lions clubs, meaning older members that are not as interested in change for a new generation, the Omega Leo Club might be a good fit for you. It allows them to add, it's basically 18 to 30-year-old humans who run their own Leo Club, it's basically a young adult Leo Club, Lions Leo Club, that then goes on and runs their own service, runs their own fundraising, runs all of everything else. So it's an important part of the count when you're looking at what you want to do as far as growing your area. Dave is asking if club branches are included in the calculation. I do believe they are, but again, we will need to check on that. I would strongly suggest that when you talk to your GAT area leader, because they're the ones that are driving this process, that you ask these questions of your GAT area leaders. That way, then you're getting consistent information from your area to understand what the rules are. And it's not, I can send an email out to a GAT area leader and get you a response, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't want to overstep, just knowing that that is something coming from them and being driven by them, the GAT area leaders, for the process. Denise, you're asking about a matching, if it's matched or not. Let me just double check. It used to be there was a matching grant required, or matching for it. But I am not seeing on the FAQ, I did not see anything about this being any district or multiple district match on this membership grant. There is a maximum, just so you understand, for multiple districts to have a total amount. So as members of your Council of Governors, before you apply as a district, you really should talk to your entire council and working with your multiple district, if you're in a multiple district, to make sure that you are not usurping something at a multiple district planning level. I am not seeing anything at this point about the matching portion of this. I'm just digging through one other. Let me hit apply now and see what happens here. Actually, I can show you. Why don't I show you the screen? This is not a very complicated grant application from what it looks like, at least on the initial look at it. Here we go. Are you seeing something that says proposed recruitment goal to be achieved or reached with this grant? You'll see right before that that asks about your grant history, which again shows to whether you have applied and completed it in the past. I'm just, it shows you how to get your trend reports and progress reports, etc., your target market analysis, an action plan, your budget, who's going to be involved in implementing and completing the work with the grant, endorsement and approval. I don't see anything at this point that that is requiring any sort of matching grant any longer, or matching dollar amount from your district or multiple districts. So this is literally free money. You're welcome, Denise. This is literally free money, but you have to follow through on it, and make sure that your district or multiple district is following through. Yaroslav, that is that sheet that I just shared with you, that PDF I just shared with you, is actually the link that says apply now on that membership development grant page. So you should be able to go to that link. I just put it in the chat again, and I'll show you what it looks like again here, just to make sure. It's this right here. When you hit apply now, it opens that PDF that we were just referring to. The other sheet I was going through with you, the grant criteria and FAQs, is this link here, this button on the left. I don't know, Dave, if this helps you, but it's a blue button. On the left is grant criteria and FAQs. On the right is the purple apply now button. The apply now button, just so you know, that is a PDF. So you will download that to your computer and be able to work on that over time as you need to. This is where, as you're going through that, you're going to want to download the budget template, because that's going to show you what the budget format is that they want. You're going to want to download the action plan template. They've also got some examples of action plans that you might want to put in place. And it shows you expense reports and all the other pieces that you're going to need. Because when you close out a grant, if you haven't done a grant with LCI before, you are going to have to close it out by providing all the documentation, all the receipts, all of the expense reports, just like you would for any other grant that you would apply for. So if it's a mileage expense claim, you're going to need to put those all in the same place so that when it comes time to close out the report or the grant, you can share all of the documentation that goes into spending the funds that were given to you by LCI. Other questions on what that grant is? I know Neville had asked specifically. Neville, did that cover your questions? I'm not sure if he's still there. So I will also put in here and share with you the I just used this morning. I was doing a training this morning on certified guiding lion training. I'm going to share one other page with you quickly, just so you can see it here. And that is the one on how to start a club. They've put a lot of effort at LCI in They put a lot of effort at LCI into creating some new materials for us that will allow it to be easier for people to understand what it takes to start a club as well. Here's another great resource for you. It's in the chat. The link is in the chat, but it lays out what the Lions, what the club types are and membership types. A link on how to start a Leo club, whether it's an alpha or an omega, how to start a branch club, how to order club materials, and then the membership grants are all on this page to link to other pages. But this is a really great spot if you're looking at starting a new club. It lays out everything pretty cleanly and how to get things done. It also allows you to understand more about what the new club development workshop is and how to apply for that. And that's available here through all of this. There's some recruiting items. I do want to highlight one other spot here since I didn't tell you this before. How many of you are familiar with the Just Ask resource from International? It's been around for some time. I will tell you that they just came out with a revised version of it, and I'm going to share this with you here on this screen. It is the link that was on the page I just showed you, but they basically redesigned the Just Ask program to incorporate GMA, the global membership approach. Mission 1.5 is only going to be successful if the global membership approach rolls out completely across the whole world. And they have taken what was the global membership approach brochure and rolled it into this Just Ask brochure. And it covers everything that was in the global membership approach brochure, but also brings it down to a little bit cleaner, makes it a little bit simpler. So if you're interested in this, it's a really great resource for you to be using with your clubs to get them started and helping them build their capacity and build the amount of members that they have so they can serve more. That's what I got for you guys. Questions on all of this stuff? And if not, we got open forum discussion, questions, answers, all the alls. And I think you're all muted, so if you want to talk, you have to unmute yourselves.
May I have a question, Judy?
Sure.
It is not related to the subject we discussed, but it's important for me. I'm overtaking our district in a shape from administration point of view in not very good status. Yeah, I cannot find a lot of documents from past. I was trying to do some inventories, some inventory of what happened over last years. And what I found are documents maybe up to 4 or 5 years ago, and that's it, nothing else. And people who were responsible for the district 15 and more years ago, they are gone. Yeah, so my concern is if as an incoming governor, I would like to take the responsibility for the everything what concerns of my district, but I cannot find the proper information. Whom I can ask in LCI? What LCI or LCIF registers as a not finished project in my district? Yeah, because
so LCIF has a grant that's open. You have an open grant from LCIF. Is that what I understand you saying?
I want to check if there are some. Yeah, because that I heard some rumors that it might be dead or it might be dead, but I cannot find the proper documents we actually don't have a district office. Yeah, so papers were running from one secretary to another secretary. Some people, they didn't return the documents, so I need to do some inventory for beginning of the year. Yeah, and I cannot find enough of information in the district, so I need to communicate someone in LCI or in LCIF. Yeah, if there are still some open project with my district, and then I will know what to watch on.
That's a really great question. I think it probably applies, unfortunately, to more people than you, Yaroslav, because it is hard to find those old records in a lot of cases. My recommendation is that you contact LCIF donor services. And actually, I will, you know what, I'm going to give you a grant. I'll get you the right contacts, Grant.
Good.
And do you think it's possible that it's both on LCI and LCIF side of things?
Oh, well, I will rather ask both.
Okay, grant history.
I don't want to miss anything, and for that I need the information.
Sure. I will tell you that if you have an open grant from LCIF, the International Foundation, I know that you get follow-up from them on a regular basis saying, we need you to close this grant. We need you to close this grant. It was only for this amount of time. They are very proactive with that. So if your current governor and cabinet secretary haven't said anything or don't have that information, I would guess you're okay, but let's make sure.
Yeah.
I'll get you I'll email you all the contact information at both LCIF to check and also at LCI. The challenge with LCI on the LCI side of things is a little more difficult, shall we say. And that's because there's multiple departments that might have grants out there. So for example, you may have received a leadership development grant for a Regional Lions Leadership Institute, or you may have a membership grant. And I'm not sure that there's only one place to actually get that information. I've never seen that, but I'll see what I can find out.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Jody,
Uh-huh.
in the dress code for Boston, it said like when we're in like our training meetings, we're supposed to be wearing our blazers. Is that so? I got the impression that it wasn't casual, that we had to be all dressed up in our.
So you're talking to the queen of, I would rather be in yoga pants and a t-shirt. So
I know.
let me preface it with that. I will tell you that they do not want to see you in jeans. I do believe that your council, if you have a Lions polo shirt, what I saw, and both when I went through the training and what I saw last year, if you're in Lions gear, a Lions polo shirt, a Lions button down, and a pair of slacks, you'll be more than fine. No one got sent home because they were in shorts and flip-flops and a t-shirt last year. I'll tell you that much. So I would suggest that you come and what you're comfortable with, knowing that there will not be any official photos. I would suggest though, during the plenary sessions we have one session during the day together, as I recall. Yeah. If you're sitting with your council and we're not sitting together as a team and a group, that's a decision we need to make today. You all are probably going to want to be dressed alike. If we're sitting as a group, it's a little less, none of us are going to be matchy because we're not all from the same area. So it's less obvious, I guess. And that's really up to you guys and your councils, how you want to sit, if you want to sit with your groups or if you want to sit with your councils. I know that when I have seen it done both ways, and it just depends on the individual groups as to how they want to handle it.
Okay, thank you. It said, to be dressed in your basically your jacket in your, like our meeting, group 29. So that's why I wanted to be sure. Thank you.
Yep. And I will tell us if LCI if staff asked me if I said that, I'm going to say, of course I did. I'd rather be here in yoga pants and a t-shirt. So, and as long as you have clothes on, I don't really care personally, but other people have a different perspective.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Will we get any kind of mailing about what we do when we land in Logan, like we did when we went to St. Charles? We had a whole do this, go here, do that. Because I haven't gotten anything yet.
You should. Okay, so I don't want to commit them to it. They have done it in the past. I will tell you that there is a whole crew of LCI staff to meet you and volunteers to meet you when you arrive. And you'll go and you'll check in with whomever it is. Someone will direct you when you get there in Lions gear, will direct you to where that station is for registration. And they will then help get you to the hotel and beyond. So it should be clean and simple. I would expect that email to come out in the next week or so, quite honestly, I guess we're arriving, I don't know. So I would guess very soon, and there should be something. And that should come from, I'm guessing, DGE Travel, but it might come from the seminar team as well. So DGE Seminar or DGE Travel.
And
if I see, if I see it come through, by the way, I will forward it to you all again, just to make sure you all got it.
Okay, that's when we get there, but when we go to leave, I have a 7:30 flight out. So
will-
that means in Colorado and California, you get there 3 hours before. So that means
Exactly.
I'm there at 4:30. That's
They
still accurate
will,
in Boston.
they will take care of all of that for you. Of all the things I've seen happen at LCI convention, they truly are a well-oiled machine when it comes to on the ground. From what I've experienced in the past and seen in the past. Now, there has been a lot of turnover this year, which has caused a lot of the delays with some of you getting answers back that you need from those from the travel department in particular, but they seem to have stabilized a bit now, and they seem to have caught up from what I can tell. So fingers crossed that it's all going to go smoothly. They will give you a departure time. You'll get an email that says your departure time is XYZ, be in the lobby, and they will have whatever bus or transport that's appropriate depending on the number of people that they're sending at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Lindy, did you have a question? I saw you pop up and then disappear.
Hi, Jody. No, I just wanted to say that on the seminar link on the website, they do actually have quite a lot of information about when we get there and when we leave. So there is a lot of detail available there.
Perfect. Thank you, because I have not been there for like a month, so that's good information to have. Are you all familiar with that page?
Yeah, and it even gives you what our agenda is for
Yes.
the group things.
Can you send that, please, Jody? I get so many emails now, they all kind of bunch together.
I am going to send it in. I'm putting it in the chat right now. And then I will add that to the email, the follow-up email. So this is the DGE seminar page. Yeah, and oh, by the way, if you think you're getting a lot of emails now, oh boy, give it another 20 days or so, and then you're going to see some emails.
I have a dress code question too about the banquets. So it's actually like our husbands need to wear a tuxedo. I mean, can they wear a suit? Kind of tell me where we're at on that.
So the rule of thumb is that if you're, okay, let's start with you guys as the governors elect. You guys are welcome to wear either formal attire, meaning a tuxedo or a formal dress, or your official multiple district uniform. So in the case of Barbara, who's from Pennsylvania, right? You guys have a green jacket and white pants and white shoes, and that counts for official or formal attire at anything at LCI convention. So you don't need to bring anything separate or above and beyond.
According to our international family who wants us in a tux.
Well, yeah, but that's a different issue entirely than what the rules are. Yes, you are correct. But then when it comes to the spouses or partners in service, if they want to wear formal along with you, if you're wearing formal, that's fine. If they are just in a suit or business attire, that is also fine for the DGE closing banquet.
Okay, that answers my question.
And it will tell you again, if you get invited to any of the receptions from the other portions of the world, there's a lot of receptions that go on at the international convention where different countries will sponsor and host an event. There's a Nepalese event, there's a Scandinavian event, there's African event, there's all India reception. There's all these different receptions that go on that are invite only. If someone offers you an invitation to one of these events, please go. You get to see a very different way of looking at things than you may or may not be familiar with. And it's an excellent opportunity to be able to hang out with people and just chat and learn more. Because the best part of convention, just like any convention, is talking to the other attendees and learning from one another. So go out of your way to befriend and chat with as many lions as possible and learn what you can and be a sponge to learn from all of them so you can bring it back and adapt it to your own districts and be able to help grow what you needed to grow and meet your goals.
What is the dress code on going to those receptions?
It all depends. I will tell you that since the the general rule of thumb, and I'm again, protocol is not my strong point, but the rule of thumb, as I understand it, is if you are, most of those receptions are formal attire. The German reception, by the way, in the past has invited every DGE to the reception, and your official multiple district attire, meaning your red, well, in my case, your jackets and whatever your formal, your tradition, your official MD attire is for a district governor, counts towards the formal at that event. Other lions that are there will be in formal attire if they're not a district governor. Most of those events that I've seen do require formal attire. Not all of them, but most of them do.
Is there a cost to that, or is that
No.
usually?
It's generally a reception hosted by whoever the country is or area that's putting it on. You'll also see some states will do it. Canada may have one coming up with Patty coming in as president this year. I'm guessing there is one in a Canadian, a bigger one than normal. I know that Georgia used to, I don't know if Georgia still does. Georgia used to hold a reception. Some of the other multiples from the US used to hold receptions just as multiple districts as well. It just depends on the year. Denise, you're muted. I know you're working on it. While you're working on, there you go.
There I am. You say, do they give formal paper or cardboard invites? So you have to show it at the door? Is that how it works?
Most of them, yes. Some of them have gone electronic, but most of them are a piece, like a traditional invitation that they'll give you something in paper form and you'll need to show that to get in.
Okay. So if you have one, you know, and the rest of your maybe district is there, they don't come in with you then, correct?
Correct.
Oh, and I do want to say my first DDG elect is into it, and so is my present DG. They are going to be loaded with pins at the convention. So they're looking to be trading and buying and selling and things like that.
Awesome. A couple fair warnings now that you mentioned pins. If you have pins that are special to you, do not wear them on your jacket, your vest, or your shirt. There's a lot of different cultures across the globe that look at things differently than you may look at them. And people have had pins ripped off their jackets or their shirts, believe it or not. So if there's something special to you, please do not wear it at convention. The last thing you want is to lose that. Whatever it is, don't wear it. Okay. The other piece is, if I don't know, I think last year we were able to, in your kit, in the gifts you're going to get from soon to be President Patty when we get to Boston, will be a supply of her pins, along with a couple of other materials, promotional materials that she can share with her theme on them officially. Because you didn't receive any theme-based items when we were in St. Charles. So all the theme-based items you will receive a supply of at LCI convention. Now, the pins you get, it's around 20 of them, if I recall correctly, maybe 25. I'm not sure the exact number, but it shouldn't add a ton of weight to your suitcase. But some of the other materials might. So I'm not sure because I haven't seen a list. We don't meet again. We don't meet as a team till the 20th for the group leaders and the seminar team. So I'll see if I can get a weight on it for you, but just be aware there will be some more materials you're going to get there that you're going to have to take home with you. So if you have a suitcase that you're packing and your weight limit is 50 pounds, or 50 pounds, and I'm not good with kilograms, but we'll do the translation here eventually. But if you have something that, and you've maxed it out with the clothing you're bringing, note that you'll be carrying on some other things on the plane with you or paying for extra weight on your luggage. So just be prepared.
Other
And
than,
by the way, no one knows if you're wearing the same thing from day to day as long as you wash it out overnight. Just saying.
anything else we need to bring other than ourselves and our uniforms?
There's nothing as far as DGE school is concerned. All the in-person session in Boston is designed so that we don't even have a laptop we're training off of. It's all face-to-face, all hanging out. You'll get a workbook of some sort, maybe a very abbreviated short workbook to go through the exercises we'll be going through, but it's nothing, nothing like we saw in St. Charles.
Okay.
Good question.
Jody, it's Dave here. Just in regards to that workbook, will there be one available for visually impaired, larger font?
I'm going to double check now that I see. Thank you for asking that. We're going to double check with the team. Lori has been fabulous on being on top of that. So my tendency is to say, well, obviously, Dave, but I don't want to overpromise and underdeliver.
They have been good in the past. They were good last year, so I just wanted to double check for this year. So
I will follow up with Lori and we will make sure, because I believe she will also send that to you probably in advance. So you've got it and can load it and do whatever you need to with it.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess I have one more question, Jody.
Sure.
This is in regards to mission 1.5.
Uh-huh.
Hearing through the grapevine that they are taking the requirement away that DGs have to go visit their clubs. Is this in fact true? And if it is, how are they going to think they're going to be successful if DGs don't have to be there as the leaders to show their clubs that they appreciate what they do?
So there's a couple things going on, and this is actually a precursor to mission 1.5, I would call it. If you saw, did you all see the call for voting? It's not the right terminology. Did you all get an email that was talking about the resolutions?
Yes.
On those resolutions, which is a lot of them this year, and they're very long. The resolutions that Dave, what you're talking about is referring the resolution. There's 3 resolutions about job duties, one for the district governor and one each for the vice district governors. That's where that change is being proposed, in that the district governor will then, and you all have seen this year, and Dave, you saw your role now is different than Sue's was even this year, and it will be changing even further. But essentially what the resolutions are trying to do is name the district governor as a CEO of the district. So just like any other CEO of a company, you are managing the organization and all the pieces, so that the district governors will focus then on managing the district, and the vice district governors will be responsible for visiting the clubs. Now, there's a couple benefits to that. Above and beyond, it gives the district governors more time to focus on the goals and helping their team achieve the goals. But it also, I don't know about you guys, but in my area and what I've seen over and across a lot of areas that I've worked with over the years, what we see is that we have a lot of, especially now, vice district governors stepping up who have not been involved beyond their own zone at all. And they have no vision or understanding of what goes on beyond their zone. So it's hard to set goals and understand what's going on. So one of the benefits of going to this district governor's CEO and then the vice district governors basically being the sales team, I'm going to call them for the moment, is it gives your district governors the training to understand what's going on in the district, and also makes the district aware of them and helps them build their skills. So by the time they sit in the role then of district governor, they truly can be a CEO of the district and run the district like a nonprofit business, which we actually are. So it's not really part of 1.5. It is the vote at International Convention will determine if that goes forward. They are assuming it's going forward because that's a huge basis of mission 1.5, at least from what I understand. Between that and the global membership approach, those 2 pieces are key to that, hitting that 1.5 million in 4 years in the plan.
So that wouldn't affect us, actually. It would be the next governor coming in.
Correct. I believe that is correct. it will be your jobs though next year to get the system in place that's going to support that.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you, having been, and you may have noticed I'm a bit of a control freak as we've been working together this year. The year I was coming in as governor is the year we decided to split the district roles and responsibilities with the district governors. And it was really hard for me to step away. And even with talking points we created, we all agreed upon the talking points. It was hard for me to step away and not be responsible for those club visits. There's a couple things that we have to overcome as leaders at the district level. Number one is the pushback we're going to get from our own leaders stepping up, being the vice district governors and district governors. Some people are not going to want to give up those, doing those club visits. I will tell you that just because the official visits will, if this passes, will be run through the vice district governors. That doesn't mean the district governor shouldn't be attending special events, going out and still being active in your district. It just means that the official role is not focused on club visits anymore. It's focused on managing the district. The other side of it, and where we heard a lot of on the front end, a lot of people complaining that, oh no, we don't want to see anyone but the district governor. That's the only person we want to see in our club. I will tell you that is in most cases a bit of bunk, because the reality is the grassroots Lions have no idea what a district governor is or a vice district governor, nor do they care. It is some person from the district that shows up once a year and maybe can put a sentence together, quite honestly. So, and I hate to say that, but that's the unfortunate reality of it. So as you're hearing these comments and concerns, obviously take them to heart, but explain the overall goals and the benefits of this to them as a club, because if these vice district governors know the district better, they will be better able to serve the district and the clubs as you move forward as district governors as well. Someone popped up as having a question and then I saw them go away. I didn't catch who it was. I just see things bounce on my screen.
That was me. I have a question about the demise of ALLI. I think it's great that the second vice district governors are getting more training instead of just kind of being treated like a gap year. But I always saw the value of ALLI for kind of teaching our emerging leaders. It sort of had a transition point between ELLI, RLLI, and then so now it seems to me there's nothing between RLLI and them becoming second vice, where I found, for me, I took ALLI and it was a great kind of, I don't know, incentive training that made me feel like I could do second vice. And now it seems like we have this huge void. What was the thinking behind getting rid of ALLI? And
so one of the things that you start to see if you've been through all of the institutes, we'll call them the emerging Lions leadership, regional Lions leadership, advanced Lions leadership, is there's a lot of overlap right now. They're not just reimagining and getting rid of ALLI, advanced Lions leadership. They are reimagining and reworking the entire institute program so that it will be a different alignment. It will be different than what we see right now. The initial announcement of ALLI going away at the end of this next Lions year, the Advanced Lions Leadership Institute, was to fair warn everyone. But in talking to the leadership staff, they recognize this overlap and this progression, and it's time to realign all of it. So you're going to see other announcements coming out. I don't know exactly where it's going to fall out, Kevin, but I hear what you're saying. And I will tell you that I do think that, and I'm looking at this from a past has-been perspective. If I would have gotten more training as a second vice district governor, it would have done more for me than Allie did, because and I think that that's where they're looking at it. Now, I also understand from a financial standpoint that they're going to, I'm guessing they're going to push towards more regional training for regional Lions leadership institutes and items of that sort, so that you've got a closer group of people. It's not going to cost as much to put a training on, and you still get at least a multiple district perspective of different people across your multiple district. I don't know if that's exactly what's going to happen, but that would be my best guess based on the past history and seeing how things have developed and kind of been in flux.
So will the second vice district governor training be similar to what we went through this year as first?
That's an interesting question, because one of the questions that we as group leaders have had throughout this is, especially after Allie, it was announced that Allie was going away and they're revamping everything, is, and especially if this whole plan with the vote on district governor, vice district governor roles goes through, you can't, I mean, right now, if we stay to a status quo, that means July 1 of this year, your second vice district governor is going to be responsible for understanding how to do to get the job done. And they just don't have the training for that right now. So I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work, but it's got to help somehow to get us moving forward. And I think as we're looking at this, and as you're looking at this as a multiple district, you need to talk to your GLT, your global leadership team, and ask them how they're going to help support this and figure out what that looks like in the structure as well. Because we're going to make an assumption here that the second vice district governor training is going to look much more like what you've seen this year. Some of the stuff you got this year would be moved to being a second. Like, for example, if you got that head, heart, and guts, if you had that a year earlier, if you had that as a second and got it done early in the year, that gives you time to adjust and do some trainings and help build up some skills you might need some support in, or build your network or whatever it might be. So I know they're looking at reapportioning all of that, but I'm not sure how it's going to play out. And I'm also not sure how they're going to support it as far as, do you have a group leader for 2 years then that sticks around and follows you through the 2 years, along with the stuff that's the training that's being handled at the multiple district level? All of this is up in the air right now. And I believe they should have something about it before mid-year, I would hope.
Will they train in St. Charles like we did, or will it just be all online?
I do know that they signed a 5-year contract that starts with this next Lions year for St. Charles. So the plan is to move forward with St. Charles. And how I'm guessing, again, it's going to be a combination of online and face-to-face trainings whenever possible. They may decide with seconds to go back to a regional by GAT area training for the seconds that's face-to-face. They may decide to do it all online. It's all up in the air right now.
Good, thank you.
By the way, did you guys, if your seconds or your first, the people following you, what, I guess they're technically second vice district governors. No, they're
First or second.
Yeah, those people following
Their
you.
first elects.
There you go. First vice district governor elects. Their DGE school in St. Charles is the last week in February this year. It's a little later. So I have it down as February 27th through March 1st, just in case you are all curious or can pass that on to your DGE or your first vice district governor elects. That is important information for them. They do, I believe, have dates out further than that. I haven't seen them, but if I find out, I will share that with you so that you can also get your second vice district governor elect to get that on their calendar. You guys are so, you have it. We should play Stump Jody. Come on, come up with something. While you're coming up with some stumping questions, some questions to throw me off my game, do you all want to sit together for the general sessions at Boston? The opening ceremony, it looks like, starts at 8:30 on Friday the 7th.
I would like to. I think my feeling is we've collectively gone through this together. So if I'm gonna graduate, I guess, DG boot camp, I'd rather do it with my compatriots than strangers.
Everyone
Yes, for me, definitely.
Yes, for me too. Absolutely.
Awesome. So I will get there early. Some of you are earlier than I am,
Yes, for
but
me.
I will attempt to get there early. If whoever gets there first, save us a spot like we did at DGE school for, 20 plus people. and we'll make it all work.
So which sessions are we all going to sit together at the whole time or what?
So there is, excuse me. It looks like we've got general sessions basically all morning,
Can you give me a date?
July
date?
7th.
July
It's
7th.
Friday,
Okay.
July 7th. It's the link for the seminar schedule on that day shows us the doors open at 8 a.m. And then the session starts at 8:30. And then we're in there for 3 hours with a break in between there. So we'll all be together then. We then go to lunch here. You know what? Why am I reading this to you? Let me show you what I'm looking at. How's that? There's a crazy idea. I think this is correct. All right. So here we are. You're going to check in to the hotel and everything on the 6th. We're looking at doors opening at 8 a.m. local time. Opening ceremony, a couple of general sessions till 9:45, a break, and then back again for general session and the closing. We will then be together in the afternoon. We'll be together just in our classroom. So we'll sit together in the morning and then we get to be together all afternoon. Lindy, I see you. Just one more thing on the schedule and then I'll let you ask your question. In the afternoon, just so you know, we do have another opportunity to have another group come visit our classroom and do a classroom sharing experience. This time, it is Corinne from France. It's her group. And I haven't done the research yet to see where they're all from, but we will have French speakers it's a French speaking group. So we will have a translator in the room above and beyond Corinne. And I don't speak French. I barely speak English, as you all know. So we'll leave the French translation to the translator and to Corinne and her people, but it should be an interesting opportunity to exchange ideas again. All right,
So
Lindy.
We're just talking about that first day then?
Yes, the
We're sitting together.
DG school is only that day one. It's
No, I mean, as far as we sitting as a group, we do.
yes.
that's
Beyond
one
that,
day.
we're done with DGE training. You guys are officially trained, if you're trainable, so to speak, at the end of that day of Friday the 7th. The rest of the time, different multiple districts handle things differently. We can all sit together off and on. I know my own multiple district has everyone sitting together and you never know, in some place in the giant auditorium. And I'm guessing your multiples and districts do a very similar thing.
Can you
What comments do you have about the parade?
Oh, hold on a second. First, let's let Lindy ask the question, then we'll talk parade.
Thanks, Jody. I'm a little bit behind. I don't want to stump anyone. I just wanted to comment on when you were speaking about the first vice governors. I think they've already received
I think they did as well.
training in February, so they know when. Yes, with the group as much as we can. That would be great.
Awesome. All right, now Denise, the parade. What in particular did you want to know about the parade?
Well, I've heard all different types of stories and incidences that have happened at the parade. So just trying to get as much information to see if I should, have anything special or ready in reserve or something like that.
Well, I will tell you that I've marched in a parade every convention I've been to, and I think this is my 4th or 5th one. And it is overall can be a very cool experience. It is oftentimes very hot. It is also, if you haven't been in a parade of this size before, it is also a lot of hurry up and wait. They have you come and line up at, I swear to God, it feels like 6 a.m. local time. And then by 10 o'clock, you're starting to walk. Okay, that's a slight exaggeration, but it's not off by much. So if you're going to participate and walk in the parade, you need to be prepared for that. It's going to be hot. Just assume it's going to be sunny and hot, or it's going to be rainy and hot and muggy. So Make sure that you come with some sort of poncho rain gear in your bag. They don't cost much to purchase. You can get them at a local pharmacy locally if need be. And they're just be prepared with a hat or something that's going to help protect you. If there's never any place to sit except the street corner or curb. There is oftentimes water available. You'll see people walking around with water. LCI sometimes has it. Et cetera, et cetera. So it is definitely a experience. You will march in your contingency. Your multiple district parade coordinator will know where you are in the lineup. It usually says where the lineup is on the Facebook or on the, let me check the LCI Con page. Usually on the LCI Con page, they have the parade list by which contingency is going where and when and all those things. Experience Parade of Nations. Here we go. Oh yes, event schedule, line of march. So it is all, I'm going to drop the Parade of Nations link into the chat.
Sorry, Jody. It is a long wait and you've got to be quite patient, but it's also quite a great networking experience. I've been to one. I was in Milan and it was absolutely wonderful. The camaraderie and the sharing and a lot of people swapping pins there at the parade. So so you do need to be patient, but it's really an experience.
You're right, because here's the reality. You're lined up with whatever contingency in front and behind you. You will have time to virtually walk the whole parade route and talk to everybody on the planet in between when you get there and when you get done before the parade actually steps off. So it is a really fun experience. The other thing that you can plan for, if you're not able to walk in the parade, I highly recommend that you find a spot to view the parade if possible, so that you can be on the viewing sidelines there and be able to experience it from the side. It is remarkable if you have not been to one of these parades before and seen the International Parade to see what some of these contingencies come in with. I mean, the native costume, the parade, the pageantry, all of the things that they do is remarkable. So being able to participate and see what you can of it is awesome. There is a opportunity also for those of you who are walking. If you are walking if your parade unit is up towards the front, you can get done with your walking through and then go back and just sit down and be a spectator and enjoy the show, so to speak. So there's a lot of different opportunities. I know people that have walked in, especially when you've got someone like a vice president running, they will walk with that contingency in the front and then run back and walk with wherever their normal one is as well, just to show support. So the routes are not usually very long. I don't remember how long this one is. Parade logistics. Let's see what it says. It says it's approximately 1 kilometer. So it's not a super long route, which is always nice. So you can, if you want to, go ahead and do more than one time around, you are welcome to. You could just keep running back and forth, you know. And, you know, some of these contingencies are so worried about what they have on for their attire. You could actually screw up their whole winning an award because you aren't matching them. I mean, you know, all depends on what your perspective is.
Is the parade route near where the convention actually is?
It looks like it is not. There's shuttle buses that will run to and from the parade convention shuttle. Buses from hotels will drop off on Tremont and West Streets, which doesn't say how far away it is from the hotels.
So who will I have to check to make sure I have an accessible way to get there? Because I'll have an electric cart I'm renting.
How about you? Oh, the seminar team won't be able to help with that either. Diane, do you have a parade coordinator in your multiple district?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
I would talk to your parade coordinator to make sure that that's covered, because they'll be the ones that have the contact with the parade coordinating staff from LCI.
Okay, thank you.
Does the general public, are they the ones that watch the parade, or is it just basically other lions that aren't in the parade?
It's a combination of all of the above. The general public is usually there. It is a Saturday, so, and it's a parade, so, you know, they'll see a lot of families. I will tell you, when I walked the parade in Las Vegas, a parade at that time in the morning in Las Vegas is not exactly something many people are going to go to in downtown Las Vegas. So there was about a dozen homeless people that had a lot of Lions gear and tchotchkes by the time they left that day, the time we finished with them that day. But beyond that, every other convention I walked in, the parade, there are a ton of people lining the sidewalks and cheering as you go by. And, you know, it's really an experience to be able to do it. Trying to see if they've got anything about the actual times we have to be there. Oh, wow. Okay, so they also go in colors. So if you go to that link I just sent you with the parade step off, and it is the file called Line of March link, LINE of March. It shows you exactly what time you need to be there and where you are in the lineup. Oh, there's a lot. And it starts, the first assembly time is at 8 a.m. and the last one is at 10 o'clock a.m. just to give you an idea of how far it is. And oh my, Wisconsin is the third to the last group this year. So we'll be, my multiple district will be way at the end of the line. So I can come march with all of you and still make it back to my own.
Or 25th.
Jody, should we, are we going to be, is this like a regular convention where you'll get the whole agenda and everything when you arrive, or should we be making copies and bringing things with us?
They'll have all of that for you. I'm going to make the assumption, I haven't seen it yet. The last number of years, they've had an app just for the convention that you can download and be able to click and choose which of the events you want to go to, so that it'll give you a reminder. Because if you're like me, I get distracted with talking to people and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be somewhere. So it gives you that if you like. So that should be available to everyone as well. I'm going to strongly encourage all of you to go hang out in the exhibit hall, expo area, whatever you want to call it. LCI sends staff and has booths at for each of the main areas that you're going to need support from. So the IT people will be there, and I guarantee you they're going to be swamped because of the rollout of the new Lions portal. There will be people from membership there. If you want to talk about membership grants, I know Tracy Gray is going to be there. There's going to be people from leadership there. There will be people there from every area. So you will definitely want to make sure to chat with them and make some time for that. There will be also Lions doing presentations in there, fireside chat types of things. Stop by the campfire, whatever they're calling it this year, and hear from Lions who are successful in the main areas of what we do as an association. If you want to go to the LCI store, LCI brings a lot of materials to convention. The line is usually very long. They do offer you the opportunity to pre-order and then pick it up. There's a link on our DGE school page, as I recall. Hold on a second. I just saw it a while ago. I will find that link for the order in advance.
I don't know if it's still open, Jody. If it is, I would like to order, but there was a date by which you had to order for that.
Is it already passed, do you know?
Yes, it is passed.
Okay, then never mind. I won't worry about sending that to you then, since it's already passed. If you want to go to the store, they have a limited supply, number one. So if there's something you really, really want, go stand in line. If there's something, if you're not as worried about anything specific, you're just shopping in general, you can wait a little bit longer and hopefully the lines will be a little less long. The first day they're open is craziness. Later in the day gets a little better because people try to be in line early in the morning before everything else opens. I think that also reminds me about elections. you as district governor-elects are not automatic voting delegates for the convention. Sitting district governors as officers of the association are. So if you're coming to convention and you want to vote, your club secretary does have to put you in as your club's delegate. And they have received a lot of information about that. I know because I've gotten questions from a number of them. If you contact your club secretary, if they can't help you out with that, then there is a spot on the LCI convention. It is under, hold on a second. I saw it just the other day. Now I got to find it again. There's under experience on the LCI Con webpage. There is a whole page on the election. So I'm going to put that in the chat for you as well.
Just to verify,
Jody?
you said your individual club secretary, not your district secretary.
Correct. The delegate count is all predicated by the clubs and the number of people in your club. So it's all done by your local club.
And it's still, international is you get 1 per 10 member, correct?
No, that's district. It's 1 per, okay, I almost said 25, but let me just double check. Club entitlement. So it's actually well, this is weird. So if you have up to 37 members, you get 1 delegate. 38 to 62, you get 2. It's on that page I just sent you the link for.
Will our spouses be able to sit with us during the general sessions when we're all sitting together?
Yes. Are you talking about DGE school or?
The general sessions where we just decided that we're all going to sit together as a group?
Yes, Maria asked the question in the chat and I did not highlight it. Maria asked if we're there early, we need to save, I think it's 40 seats. I haven't got the final count yet from LCI about who all's coming to face. So I would say we need to save 40 to 45 seats. So double what we had at St. Charles for those of you who were at St. Charles.
Should bring some flagging tape.
You know, I had some of that around here, so crime scene tape. Usually if there's at least 1 person per corner, we can usually kick everyone else out to the curb, say, hey, you're not part of our awesome group. We know you all want to be part of group 29. However,
We're not done our training yet. Crime scene tape might be required.
Especially if you walk next to Dave.
Oh, he gets so sore for hitting his ankle with my cane. My God.
or is it you perhaps hitting him and helping Kevin stay on target, you know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Just helping.
Very
thing.
much help.
You wouldn't believe the hell he's put me through in the last couple of months.
Other questions? If not, I mean, those 2 key pages for you to be able to find all the information, that's where all the updates will be the general LCI convention section of the LCI website, and also that DGE school page DGE seminar page. And all the updates will be there and should be there for you to be able to find. And I mentioned this before, the most important thing to go into this convention with is with an attitude of learning, for lack of a better term, and embracing the international aspect of our association. If you have, I mean, you guys got to see some of it while we were at St. Charles, those of you that were able to join us in St. Charles. That is a small percentage. Think about that. There's 750 total governors in the world. We had 600 and some of them in St. Charles. You're talking 20,000 people, all Lions together from all over the globe. And it is quite an impressive feat to pull off and to experience and be part of. Sit at tables where you don't know anyone. Sit in groups. I mean, it's fine to travel with your pack, so to speak, your multiple district, etc. But when you do that, don't do it all the time. Reach out and try something different. Talk to someone from a different country. Have a set question you're curious about. You know, how do you grow members? What's your favorite service project in your area? Something broad that you can use Google Translate and be able to communicate with them from and learn from each other. We didn't have a lot of need for Google Translate unless you talked to a lot of the other DGEs at DGE School in St. Charles. This will be an opportunity to really use Google Translate. And my learning curve from that, because I know you haven't noticed, but I talk kind of fast. Google Translate does not like fast talkers at all. So you learn when it says what, and it doesn't get anything, you learn, okay, hold on, breathe and slow it down. And it does work really well. It is still machine translation, so it's not perfect, but you can definitely communicate with it. Cool. If there's nothing else, I'm just excited to see you all in a couple of weeks here. It's hard to believe it is June 11th. And we'll be together in what, 26 days, give or take, face to face, and you guys will be taking over the reins of leadership. It seems like it's been forever, but yet it's come so quickly. It's like raising kids, I guess. But it's just kind of, it's awesome to be able to be part of your team and be able to hang out with you all again.
Thanks, Jody, for everything you've been doing.
Oh, I'm just here to push this direction, kind of maneuver you in the right direction.
That's great.
You've done well.
Thank you.
We-
If there's nothing else, I've got another meeting I get ready for because it's Lions meeting day today. So thank you guys. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if you need anything between now and convention, please reach out. We'll do what we can to get you answers. I'm going to send you a follow-up that's got links for the LCI, mostly LCI for sure, grant history. We'll figure out if there's a way to get LCI grant history. I'm going to send you a copy of the links we put in here, the DGE seminar link, along with the LCI convention link. We will be sitting together during the Friday, July 7th sessions. And I'm going to double check with Dave's workbook to make sure we've got the right workbook for Dave. Awesome. Anything else? I think it's Lindy, but I'm not sure.
I think it's Neville.
Is it Neville?
Yeah, no, Jody, I just want to say, if I may, thank you very much for everything you've done for us. I mean, you went out of your responsibility to assist with my flight tickets, but thank you very much for you, and we really look forward to see you. But really, we appreciate you, and I think we have a very good lady this year that was looking after Group 29.
Thank you.
Agree. Thank you.
You guys are so awesome. I couldn't ask for a better group to get to hang out with this year. So it's super fun and such an honor to be able to be here with you all and be able to do this. So yay. I guarantee you I will have tears when I give you your certificates. Yes.
Thank you, Jody. Are we doing another group cheer?
We can make up our own group cheer this time.
No contest?
No contest that I know of.
Nice.
I may find out more on the 20th, however. So wasn't there, oh, they're announcing the winners of the contest from the group cheers at the DGE banquet, right?
Right. Be the change, right?
Be the change. Be the change. I know that's not what we did, but that was close as I gotta get today.
We had we had Missy, the cheerleader from the past, do our choreography. So
I think we had some punches and some cheers and some woo-woos. as I recall.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, you guys stay safe, safe travels. If I don't talk to you beforehand, I will reach out to those of you that are not quite at 100% yet on the LLC as well. I'll do that separately. But awesome, 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 awesome. Fantastic, everyone. Stay safe and we'll see you very soon.
See you all in Boston.
See you all in Boston.
Take care.
See you guys. Bye
And,
bye.
everyone.
Bye bye.